Ladies and gentlemen, the ATF firings have begun. So far on Friday morning, we only have one down, but it is still a big start and gun control groups are panicking. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Big news came in on Thursday afternoon when the first firing at the ATF began with the agency's chief counsel Pamela Hicks. And this is, of course, after Steve Dettelbach resigned. But before I give you the full details on her statement, who she was, and what she was responsible for, this video is brought to you by Blackout Coffee Company, a pro-Second Amendment coffee roaster based out of sunny Florida that supports your rights through channels like mine and special partner roast with GOA, FPC, and the Second Amendment Foundation. Their President's Day sale is still live, so to get a cup of coffee, tea, or hot chocolate you can be proud of, go to blackoutcoffee.com/libertydoll. So, on Thursday, Attorney General Pam Bondi fired the ATF's chief counsel Pamela Hicks, who announced the move with a LinkedIn post that reads, "Earlier today, I was served official notice from the Attorney General of the United States that I was being removed from my position as the Chief Counsel of ATF and my employment with the Department of Justice terminated. I have had the privilege of serving in the Federal Civil Service for almost 28 years, including 23 years as an attorney for the Department of Justice. Serving as ATF Chief Counsel has been the highest honor of my career, and working with the people at ATF and throughout the department has been a pleasure. I thank my colleagues for their friendship and partnership over the years." She was escorted out of the D.C. headquarters and was responsible for the enforcement of every Biden-era infringement since she took the position in 2021. So she was the one enforcing engage in the business, pistol braces, secret rulemaking, the increase in knock and talks, raids, ever-changing policies, and, of course, the death of Brian Malinowski. Before that, she spent 4.5 years with the Treasury, then 8 years with the ATF as Deputy Associate Counsel, then she shimmied over to the DOJ's Money Laundering and Asset Forfeiture Department for 9 years, and then popped back over to the ATF in 2019. The comments on her LinkedIn thank her for her service and call her firing a travesty. Sorry to break it to you, Fed boys and girls, because I know that you guys have been crying, but newsflash, everyday normal people are at risk of losing their jobs all the time without notice for any reason. Welcome to the club. Now, at first glance, one might think this is related to the executive order telling Bondi to clean up any Second Amendment infringements, but earlier this week, Trump ordered the firing and/or resignation of all Biden-era U.S. attorneys responsible for politicizing the DOJ. Ahead of this announcement on social media, the FBI's general counsel also resigned earlier this month. And of course, the people on the left and the other anti-Trumpers that are sprinkled around whatever are saying, oh no, that this is Trump getting ready to prop up his own regime. We should not be happy with a politicized government alphabet agency, no matter whose side they're on. That's not the way that the government is supposed to work. Honestly, most of these agencies shouldn't even exist, but if they're going to exist, let's at least try to have them as close to in line with the Constitution as possible. And of course, groups like the Brady campaign are now in high alert. They wasted no time in issuing a statement condemning the firing, calling it disturbing. Brady President Chris Brown said, "The abrupt firing of ATF Chief Counsel Hicks is chilling. It is also no secret that ATF has historically been woefully under-resourced, and we pay the price in our safety, with guns now the #1 killer of children in this country. Now, with this sudden removal at the federal agency charged with preventing gun trafficking and overseeing the gun industry, we are all at greater risk." She obviously has different definitions of under-resourced and protecting kids than you and I do, and I suppose doesn't count all the kids in Waco, for example, because of their parents' beliefs. Not to mention the debunked, tired stat of guns being the #1 killer of children, because 18 and 19-year-olds are not children, not legally, and never should have been counted in those numbers. If you cap the numbers at age 17, then it is still car crashes just like it always was. And this correction to the data is now even available on a congress.gov fact sheet. But no one ever reports on that, or they hide the purposefully deceitful stat by saying cause of death in children and teens. Just another example of mainstream media following along with the agenda. But and then again, of course they do if the government was giving them millions of dollars the way they were. Back to the Brady statement. Without light being shed on the sources and suppliers of gun crime in America and enforcement of the laws designed to protect the public from gun violence, we will not be able to stem the flow of firearms that are contaminating and plaguing our nation. This administration's latest move clearly demonstrates its willingness to capitulate to gun lobby interests at the expense of public safety. The American people deserve leadership at ATF that will vigorously enforce our nation's gun laws and hold bad actors accountable, not industry insiders who will protect gun manufacturer profits over American lives. The position must be filled by someone committed to public safety, not industry profits. First of all, getting rid of the chief counsel does not somehow nullify all of the gun laws on the books. States still have gun laws. State police are still responsible for enforcing these gun laws. Getting rid of this one person does not make a huge difference. It is a start, but it's not some miracle shot in the dark, and not even disbanding the ATF would get rid of gun control laws. Like, it doesn't strike the laws from the books as much as we wish that it did. It's also not the gun lobby that Trump is capitulating to. I mean, I don't know, that might be part of it, but people did vote for this. Gun owners were loud and vocal about how he made some pretty bad moves the first time around, and he hopefully learned from those mistakes. So if he's capitulating to anyone, it's to the people who elected him to that position, which is what politicians are supposed to do. The problem is the American public is so not used to politicians actually following through on campaign promises that they don't know what to do about it. There is still a huge way to go with the ATF. I would like to see the whole agency gone, obviously. I don't think that that's particularly likely, so for now I'd be happy with even a budget cut and a few dozen more firings. It will definitely be interesting to see who gets nominated as ATF director. I know that there's a push online to get Brendan Herrera, which would be all kinds of amazing, but honestly probably not likely. While we still somehow got RFK into HHS and Kash Patel into the FBI, despite his support from GOA and refusal to say whether or not background checks are constitutional during his confirmation hearing, which hilarious. I think the AK guy might be too hard of a push for Congress, though it would be hilarious to see some of their heads explode. As for the executive order telling Pam Bondi to go through all of the agencies and rules and regulations and pending litigation to pick out the things that infringe upon the Second Amendment, well, she was given a month to do that, so we have yet to see the results there. But I am very intrigued. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this happy little bit of good news. You guys know the drill. For all of the algorithm things, please do them. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe out there and happy shooting.